Hi and welcome to my channel. I'm Simon and today I am back with my second book haul of the year, or as it should otherwise probably be known, my January book haul part 2. I was going to say all of the books from publishers, but that's not true. Some of the books that came in from publishers in the second half of January and all the books that I bought myself. Before I chat to you about that though, I just want to say I had a little inadvertent break from Booktube for the last week, I think. Stuff has been going on. It's been a bit of a time. I might be a little bit rusty though. I've noticed when I don't film, I suddenly find it quite alien, but had a really good Zoom meeting earlier and was chatting away to people and thinking, oh, I could sit in front of a camera again. And then saw a lovely video from Brittany, whose channel I'll link down below, talking about reading some of my favourites as well as some favourite books from Jen and Grace. It just got me in the mood to film. So I am here. I want to get January out of the way this week, so you're going to get my book haul part 2 or second book haul of the year. Let me know which you would prefer actually. Would you prefer that I did book hauls by like just the number as it goes on from the year, like 1, 2, 3, 8, 12, 59, or whether you'd rather I kept them with like the monthly thing? Does that how you find them? Whatever, I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. Right, so as I mentioned, I'm going to be talking about some of the books I got from publishers because I'm getting quite a lot now and quite a lot unsolicited, some which are bang on what I'm into and some I'm not so sure about. So on my Patreon, I'm going to start every month doing should I stay or should I go videos, and I'll be asking my patrons to say whether I should keep them and add them to my next haul or whether, nah, they're not going to be for me. And if I'm doubting that they're going to be for me, am I probably right? Who can say? Anyway, that'll be coming. My Patreon's always linked down below. I thought I'd just mention it. So let's get on with the books. Firstly, some of the books that have come from publishers. First up, one that I am so excited about and I'm probably going to read very, very soon, and that is Bitter by Akwaeke Emeze, who is firmly becoming one of my absolute favourite authors. I have loved all their books for adults, so you've got Freshwater, The Death of Ikoje, and their memoir, Dear Centauran. I loved their first YA novel, Pet. This is the second, Bitter, which I think is set in the same world, possibly. There's another adult novel coming out later this year, and I believe some poetry. It's like a spoil of riches, frankly, from Akwaeke Emeze this year. So really, really, really excited for this one. Don't know much about it, and it's actually something that Brittany was saying in her video, which I totally agree with. I don't like to know too much about a book before I read it. I just like to have like an idea. And one book that you'll see twice in this book haul, as funnily enough, I bought it already and then it arrived in the post the next day, is Walking on Cowrie Shells by Nana Nkweti. And I just heard and got the idea that this was an amazing short story collection. I think it looks at Cameroonian and American cultures and how they kind of intersect and where they clash. And that's something that I absolutely love in fiction, which is why I bought it, or had it imported actually, and Indigo Press are publishing this in May. So now I have 2 copies, so maybe my mother will get one of them, we shall see. A collection not of short stories but sort of fiction and new fiction from Afghan women has arrived from the folk at Maclehose. This is My Pen is the Wing of a Bird, and I really want to read more around the world this year, and I don't think I've read that much from Afghanistan at all. This sounds quite incredible anyway, but then an email came from the publisher saying, please don't mention X author as they are under threat from the Taliban. And it just really brought home how vital it is that we know about experiences of people all over the world. And so this is one that I shall certainly be heading to very, very soon. Another that I don't know much about, but I think is going to inspire a reading vlog of sorts in due course, as I have quite a lot of authors on my shelves where I've bought loads of their books because I think they're going to be a really me author. Miriam Toes, or is it Towels, is one such author. This is her latest book. It's out in June from Faber. I am intrigued to read her at some point, and I don't know whether it's good to go back to start an author from their latest and go backwards, or whether to go to the beginning and move forwards. Again, let me know your thoughts on that in the comments down below. I would like to hear your opinions. Now, this came unsolicited and sounds like it could be absolutely incredible. It's out in April, but it also sounds like it could be a book that I find quite tricky, as it's going to probably bring back memories that I'm not sure I like having brought back. It's Nettles by Adam Scoville, and this is set in Liverpool, not far from where I live, and it starts with a young boy being really badly bullied. He's being whipped with nettles. And I was really, really, really badly bullied at school. And it's something that when I read it in fiction really, really gets to me. Like Margaret Atwood's Cat's Eye. Oh, that was a time. What was the one that I read recently where a kid was being bullied and I almost couldn't, I was finding it too much. So I'm going to try this one and hopefully be able to do it. I just think it might be a book that upsets me as I read it, but I also don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. So, there we go. But that is out in April. Now, this is a book that the agent got in touch with me, Jo Unwin, who I adore, and I love lots of her author's books, and actually I'm going to be talking about another one in a second. And she was like, oh, I really, really think you'd love this book, and I'd really like to try it, and so would you give it a whirl? And I was like, yeah, I will. It's Think of Me by Frances Liardet, and it arrived, and I realised it's set to either at World War One or World War Two. I'm not quite sure, because like I said, I don't like reading a blurb. I have a bit of an issue with World War One. I mean, I have an issue with wars full stop, but what I mean is in fiction, I can quite sometimes, not enjoy, that's not the right word, but like to head back to times of conflict to learn about another country and how that changed it and all those things. There is something about having learned so much about World War One and World War Two at school to the point like I knew we needed to know this stuff and it's so important to know it, but I think it's like when you study a book and you have to read the same paragraph or chapter over and over and over again, it just becomes overkill. And I feel like I had that with World War One and World War Two at school. So generally World War One or World War Two, I've said that a lot now, fiction doesn't do it for me. I'm going to see if this breaks that rule and give it a go, because I know that I read a book set on a boat quite recently and people were shocked that I enjoyed it, because I'm not renowned for liking books on boats, but sometimes things break your self-imposed, possibly ridiculous rules. Like I don't like talking horses in books, but there may be one that I'll read one day and think, oh okay, that horse didn't know too much and I enjoyed. Got on a right old tangent there. Next up, Kit DeWall, who is also one of Jo's authors. This is her memoir, Without Warning and Only Sometimes, Scenes from an Unpredictable Childhood. I absolutely love Kit's writing. I think she's fantastic as well. This is one of the non-fiction books that I'm most excited for this year, so I'm sure I will head to in due course, but really, really keen for it. It is out in August, if I didn't say that already. Then another book, I've not read the blurb, I just want to go into this one blind because I love the author's writing. I love them as a person too. It's Sophie Ward and this is The Schoolhouse. It's out in May and Sophie's debut was up for the Booker. I'm just really, really interested. I love this cover. Can you see? Ooh. So I think there might be sinister undertones possibly going on and something to do with schools. And I did say, I think it was last year I was thinking about doing a reading vlog where I read books set in schools for a week. So maybe this is the year, not last year. Anyway, really, really excited for this. Think it looks stunning. I know the insides will be as wonderful as the outsides. And I'll be heading to that one soon. As I will this collection, which Anna at River and Quercus, I really love it. Like I know publishers and publishers have to send people books, some that they might not like as much or some that they just, they've got to get them out. What I also love is when I get like a note or something which is, Simon, I think you will really, really genuinely love this. And this is one of two books that Anna sent me. It's Cat Brushing by Jane Campbell. And this is 13 short stories told from the perspective of 13 older women. And I'm so excited for this. I heard that Jane Campbell, it's really tricky not to say Jane Campbell, but I heard that Jane Campbell, this is her debut collection and she's in her 80s and it's about like experiences that she knows. And I love reading books that are told by older narrators. It's just a thing that I really, really enjoy. So this, I'm just so excited for. And I also think that cover is just brilliant. So we'll be heading to that one very, very soon. A debut novel that I asked for. Oh, and I didn't tell you when this one is out. This one's out in July. So you've got a little while to wait, but it's going to be a good one. I've just got a feeling. This is out in April. It's Trespass by Louise Kennedy. And I am, sorry, I'll show you there. The proof looks a little bit different. And I read about Louise in The Observer's debuts to look out for in 2022. I really want to try and read a lot of books from the places that I'm going to with my day job over the summer, the 15 cities that I'm going to be heading to over 15 weeks. And Northern Ireland is one area that we're going to and generally go through Belfast. So it's just something I want to read more about. And Trespass is one such book. And if I love it, what's exciting is there is also a Louise Kennedy short story collection called The End of the World is a Cul-de-sac, which I think is a brilliant title, which I'm also really, really keen to head to too. So yeah, there we go. That's that. I am thinking of doing a reading vlog where I try and read like a book a day, and I'm gonna be heading to shorter books, and lots of you have asked me to do videos on shorter reads, but also it might be that Wordle picks. And I know that Kayla at Books and Lala has done this, and Grace has done this recently, but I think it's a really good idea. And I was thinking, if I could try and like get my daily Wordle, I've become obsessed, to pick a book, that'd be really, really good fun. And that book, that was a right old, we went like talking about cul-de-sacs, you got lost in my cul-de-sac of conversation there. I don't know what was going on. And this is The Men by Sandra Newman. That's actually the back of my proof. So yeah, this is out in June, and it says, what if the price of a better world was losing the people you love? That to me is all I need to know as a blurb. Like this bit, it's almost like too much info. And also I do sometimes think that blurbs fib. So yeah, I'm intrigued to try Sandra Newman at some point. I also think, and I've said this to a few publishers, they should make the proofs look as close to the final copies as possible, because that's what people are gonna remember. Like if I just held that up the whole way through this video and forgot to show you that bit, you wouldn't associate that with The Men by Sandra Newman, would you? I just find that a little bit odd. Anyway, there we go. Now, the folk at Pushkin Press sent me this, and I think it should have come with a warning. It's one that I definitely want to read because it's about something I know very little about, or I don't know enough about, is probably a better term actually. It's Stalking the Atomic City by Markian Kamish, and it's life among the decadent and the depraved of Chernobyl. Now, when I flick through this, there are some quite graphic pictures of human remains, and I wasn't ready for it. And I know that this is what kind of this book is going to be all about. However, I do think that should come with a warning, because it could be incredibly triggering. Anyway, I'm really, really intrigued to read this. It's a very short piece of non-fiction, and apparently it's Chernobyl as it's never been seen before, written by an illegal tourist to that zone. So sounds really interesting. Now, I'm almost ashamed to admit this, but I just asked for this book from the publisher because of the cover. It's Notes on an Execution by Danya Kukafka, and I do have their book Girl in Snow on my crime shelves over there, so they're an author that I have been meaning to read for a while. But that fox and then the title, just, it got me. I think it's about a man who's on death row, but he's not really the focus of the story. It's the people, it's the story of the people around the victims of his. That's what I think it's about. It's one that I definitely want to get to soon. And yeah, it was just literally, I saw the cover and I was like, oh, could I have that? It looks great. Then I have 5 Tuesdays in Winter by Lily King, which Grace has recently read and absolutely loved. Who else? Oh, CJ Reeds read it and said it was really good. And the publisher asked if I would like a copy, and I said, yes, please. I haven't read any Lily King. I've been meaning to read Writers and Lovers. It's up on my shelves there for ages, but I just haven't got around to it. So maybe short stories is a good way into trying out. And also, I do also want to read a lot more short story collections this year. Not doing as well as I'd like at this point so far in 2022, but we're still early days, even if January, normally being 750 days long, felt like it went by like that. An author I haven't read for ages and was really excited to see this turn up is Natasha Solomons, and this is Mona Lisa. Now, I don't know if this is about, oh yeah, it must be about Mona Lisa, because it says, you've seen my smile, now hear my voice. Again, that is enough to hook me in. I don't need a big old blurb to tell me any more, although it might mean that I sometimes imagine the story to come and then I'm not 100% on board when it doesn't match what I am expecting or personally would have written, even though I probably can't write with Toffee, but never mind. Anyway, really, really excited for this and to head back to Natasha Solomons again. This one I kept for a reason and I can't, oh yes, I know why. It's had Night Bitch vibes, Night Bitch, and it's The Weight of Loss by Sally Oliver. This is out from One World in June, and it's about a woman who, after going through grief, sudden grief, starts to grow hair all over her body, and that just gave me Night Bitch vibes, Night Bitch, because of the growing teeth, possibly growing tail, and that was all it took to get me in. I also find books about grief quite fascinating. Grief, I think, is one of those very strange, it's just, there's no right or wrong way to grieve, but there's expectations of how you should behave when you're grieving. And sometimes people think you're not grieving enough. Sometimes they think you're grieving too much. And yeah, I don't know. I just find grief a really interesting subject matter. Anyway, so we have that one. Then Post-Traumatic by Chantal V. Johnson. It's out in April. I saw CJ Reeves get this as well the other day. And yeah, it's a debut novel from a stunning new talent, apparently. I don't know what it's about, but I really, really liked the cover. The title suggests it's going to be a tricky read, but again, I don't think that's a bad thing. I do think we should be pushed with the fiction that we read. So yeah, I shall report back in due course. I do have a bit of an up and down relationship with dialogue books. Sometimes some of their books are my absolute favourites, and other times I'm a bit like, huh? It's going to be interesting to see which side of the savage emotion that falls. Is it going to be ooh, or is it going to be huh? We'll see. One book that I definitely think is going to be very ooh, and I want to read this very, very soon, is Just Looking at Him by Ryan O'Connell. I loved Ryan's show Special on Netflix so much. It was really funny, really poignant, just absolutely brilliant, and I think this is going to be. And I guess I have read the blurb of this, but like, how could you not read this and think, oh, I want to read it? It's My Boyfriend Has a Perfect Penis, but even with the best love, you can still wake up next to a beautiful man with a beautiful penis and be bored. You can start wishing for a smaller penis, an uglier one with tons of veins, and that's when chaos starts. I mean, that just sounds like it's going to be absolutely hilarious. I don't think I've said penis that many times on this channel before. That's another record to break, maybe. Then we have The Sea Woman by Chloe Timms, who is someone on social media I really, really, really love. I'm very excited for this. It looks like it's going to be about merfolk. It's got an island on it. Everyone on this island has a story. This is mine. Yeah, I think this is going to be really, 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 really brilliant. I've just got a feeling about this one. This is out in June from Hodder Studios. And then lastly, from publishers, or from the books I'm showing you from publishers, is the other book that Anna Quirkus and Riverrun sent me, and it's I'm Sorry You Feel That Way by Rebecca Waite. Now, the final cover is just one of these images, but that had me like, hello, there's something so striking about it. And I didn't know anything else, but when I said, oh, that cover looks amazing, I was like, I think you will absolutely love it. So, of course, I've got to read it. It's out in July. And, yeah, I don't know much more. There does seem to be this phase at the moment of, like, women either falling onto things or leaning on walls or leaning on each other, or that seems to be a real cover thing at the moment. I just think that's a fab cover. And sometimes books make you pick up covers sometimes covers make you pick up books in shops, and sometimes they make them stand out from all the other proofs that you get if you get sent them. Right, on to books I bought myself. Two that arrived from Pen Publishing. I forgot I'd subscribed to them. They do very short, sharp books with very different sort of, all of them sound incredibly different, and I think they're quite edgy and quirky, which small publishers can do really, really well. So yeah, those are the latest two. We have Good Choices by Bonnie Brooks, and we have Here Is Where by Morgan Omotoi. So I shall be getting to those at some point, maybe when I do that short book reading vlog. Maybe. Now this I got because Jen Campbell raved about it and it just sounded fantastic. It's Claudia Pineiro's can't speak. It is Eleanor Knows by Claudia Pineiro. Pineiro? Sorry, very, very bad of me. It just sounded amazing, and I think it's about a mother whose daughter dies and she kind of looks into what happened, and it was on, I forgot the name of the prize list that it was on, that Jen had read the whole long list of, but this was her absolute favourite, and I was like, right, I need to give it a go. For somebody who has a chronic illness, I'm pretty dreadful at reading about other people with chronic illnesses, partly because I can find it makes me anxious because I have it myself, but not obviously the same as everyone else, but you know what I mean. And other times I think it's just a bit of denial going on, but I need to push my boundaries with reading, and yeah, this sounded amazing. It's from a small but brilliant press, Charco Press, and I've been meaning to read some of their books for ages as well. So this month, being February, it is, thanks to Kieran and Bob And who else is doing it? I know there's someone else. I'm going to be really, really cross myself that I forget. Anyway, they're doing Fitzurry, which is reading Fitzcarraldo books all through February. And this was another book that was on the prizes that Jem read. She previously read it, I think, last year and really, really liked it. I know that Hannah May thought this was really, really great too. And yeah, again, like I said, I want to push myself with reading about people with disabilities and chronic illnesses and all those things, and sort of this sounded like it would be the right thing. I've got a few other Fitzcarraldo books on my shelves that I'm also going to try and head to. Again, maybe some of their shorter ones for that shorter reading vlog. I think that's what I'm going to do next. Maybe next week I'll do a short book reading vlog with prompts from Wordle. There you go, you heard it here first. I've never read Stephen King, and I won't lie, this was a supermarket purchase, but I really, really, really love the cover. And yeah, I know that Carrie over at Tea Books and Breathe on Instagram, who I adore, she has been reading Stephen King kind of in order. I know she stopped possibly doing it, but it has tempted me, and Misery is, I know the film really, really well, so that does make me sort of think, oh, am I just going to be seeing, you know, the characters from that, or the actors playing those parts in this? But I still want to give Stephen King a try at some point. I have read On Writing of his, which I thought was brilliant. Some books that I got from a fabulous new queer bookshop in Manchester, Queer Lit. I got Permafrost by Eva Baltazar. This was on the recommendation of Rebecca Eats Books, who'd read it and just said it was a fantastic lesbian novel. So I was like, yes, please. Then I'm reading these in order, so I don't know when I'll get to this one because it's number 23 from Tilted Axis. But Hannah May, the aforementioned Hannah May, really, really thought this was fantastic. Love in the Big City by Sang Young Park. And I would like to read a lot more queer translated fiction from all around the world, and this, I believe, fits that brief. So yeah, I'll head to that one at some point, but I don't know when I'll get to 23. I really should have read 2 by now, but I think maybe that's quite short. Is 2 quite short? It's somewhere, I can see it. Yes, it is quite short, so maybe that one's not wrong. Then I think this was one of Matthew Schraffler's favourite books, either last year or the year before. It's Parakeet by Marie-Helene Bertino, and I need to, some point in February, read a book with a bird at the heart of it, or birds at the heart of its story. And I believe this is about a woman whose grandma returns after dying in the body of a parakeet. And that just sounded brilliant anyway. And I thought, oh, it will match that. And yeah, I picked myself up a copy. Why not? Then the aforementioned Walking on Carousels, which I ordered from America. It's from Grey Wolf Press there. So it looks the same. It'll be the same inside. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I might give my mother one. I ordered some books from Australia. I'm allowing myself one spree at readings in Australia every month, and I picked up, I didn't pick it up, I wish I'd been in Australia to go and pick it up. I ordered Charlotte Wood's The Luminous Solution, Creativity, Resilience and the Inner Life, which is non-fiction from an author who is steadily but certainly surely becoming one of my absolute favourite authors ever. I thought The Weekend was incredible. I thought oh my goodness, I was going to call it Notes on a Scandal. That's not even right. The Natural Way of Things was utterly phenomenal, and I'm really intrigued by this. I've seen Jacqueline over at 6 Minutes for Me talking about what an amazing effect this book had on her. So yeah, really, really, really keen to read that. The next 2 are the first and second in what I'm assuming is becoming a series, which are The Nancys and Nancy Business by R.W.R. MacDonald. And yeah, I think they're quirky, bonkers crime novels, I think. It won the 2020, this one won the 2020 Negro Marsh Award for Best First Novel. So yeah, I'm really, really intrigued by this. I might have got that completely wrong, but either way, how gorgeous do they look? And also, I won't lie, the author is very handsome. I've spotted him on Instagram. It shouldn't matter. That's just made me sound incredibly vacuous. Oh, I forgot one of the books that I bought, at Queer Lit, because I'd gone to see the pile. What I loved about Queer Lit in Manchester was they had lots of imports, and so I got Upright Women Wanted, which is by Sarah Gailey, and this says, are you a coward or are you a librarian? And I was recommended this after I loved How Much of These Hills is Gold by Sipam Zhang, and I'm very, very excited for this. Short. It's a theme. I'm obsessed with all the short books. The penultimate book that I got from Australia, but not the penultimate book that I got last month, is She is Haunted by Paige Clark. And the cover just had me, and it's also, I'm doing it the wrong way around. And it is that leaning thing that I said is really kind of becoming prevalent. And yeah, I don't quite know why I picked this one up, but I think also She is Haunted as a title really did it for me. And sometimes it just takes that much. So yeah, I'm going to read this at some point, and then I'll be able to report back what it's about, but I just needed to have it. And penultimately from this haul, but last from what I bought from Readings, and it even Readings even has a reading sticker on the front, is Jennifer Downes' Bodies of Light. I read her short story collection when it was up for the Readings Prize with the wonderful Jacqueline and Natalie and Julia, who I adore, and wanted to read much more. I have her first novel, yes, I can see it in front of me, One Magic Hour, on my imported shelves. This is her latest novel, and I think it's about like a quiet small town where lots of stuff is going on behind the scenes and you get to find out more, and that's my kind of thing. That's kind of savage catnip. So yeah, I picked that one up. And then last but not least, I got this from a charity shop, but it was a hardback and it was 50p, and I really love this crime author. I don't read them enough, and I think they get critiqued a little heavily sometimes. It's Shari Lapina's Not a Happy Family. What I love about a Shari Lapina book is I know I'm just going to get completely lost in it and completely and utterly hooked. The payoff will be brilliant and I won't feel like I've been played. And even if I don't guess what's going on, I won't feel like I've been played, which is a tricky thing. And there's no faffing about in them, because sometimes in crime novels, there can be a bit of faffage, as I like to call it. And yeah, there isn't with her book. So when I saw this, I was like, right, I need to. But then I was shocked because I think it's her 6th book, and I think I've only got 4, so I'm missing one. Anyway, Crime Time's coming back, and Pip also loves Shari Lapina, so maybe we'll do a Shari book at some point. Right, I've been talking for nearly 30 minutes. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you'll let me know in the comments down below what I should call these. Should I do numbered book hauls or should I do the months? And also, what was the other thing that I wanted to know from you? There was something else, so hopefully you've remembered, because I've forgotten. I will speak to you all soon. Bye.